Well, a very warm welcome back to yet another episode of The Humble Climb. I think it's number 3 or 4 that we've done for the year, but a massive thank you for everyone continuing to show us so much love, energy, and rating and subscribing the way that you guys continue to do across all the platforms of YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. Of course, this couldn't happen with our amazing sponsors, kicking things off with, of course, Gigi Hair and Kids and Marissa and the new salon. For anyone wanting to get in touch, please get in for further details. Wallace Advocates, their new rebrand. So obviously me being in real estate, anybody who is looking to purchase and needs that extra help, feel free to chat to Emily Harrison or Harry or the team about how to navigate the real estate industry in its total. EcoWave Cleaning and Supplies. So anyone that's looking to get their property cleaned, speak to George. Again, all details, I can email you, whatever you might need. And lastly and importantly, the man to my left who has come on as a sponsor, but he's also got an incredible incredible story, I should say, Bernard Desmond from Blank Financial. And we're going to go through to it. Firstly, Bernard, a massive welcome and thanks for coming on The Humble Climb.
Thanks for having me, Timmy.
Mate, it's so exciting because I've never actually interviewed one of my sponsors before.
Oh, beautiful. Well, let's be the first one then.
You are literally. So you're literally the first sponsor I've ever had on, which is exciting. But I obviously approached you, not obviously about the sponsorship, but about wanting to have you on because I love you the way that you handle your business. I've been following you, or I've known about you since probably my inception into real estate. I reckon at least. So I've been doing it now 8 years. So I guess I've probably known you. I've probably known of you for the last 5 at least, but never obviously physically met till we did recently. And you've got an incredible story, an incredible background. And we, funnily enough, only met 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's a small world, so, you meet people and, interactions take you to the next stage. So, pleasure to be here.
It's pretty funny the way that we met. I mean, obviously, you're one of your good friends and clients, and I had a property that I was selling, and we met naturally through that, which was awesome. And obviously, we've got a lot of mutual friends in the real estate industry. But I love the way that you handle your business, and that's not weighing in your pocket while you're here next to me. I find you incredibly inspiring. Not just simply the way that you handle yourself, but even on little things, the way you present yourself. I've always found it, you've been known as that guy. And it's obviously you've got all the accolades and the awards as a finance broker to go with it. But I saw something today which was the best thing that I loved, that I once listened to a Kerry Packer, I think it was Kerry Packer or Mark Bouris had said to, Kerry Packer had said to Mark Bouris, that what do you do, son? And I sell finance. And he said, no. You create opportunities and dreams. And then I jumped onto your website and I saw that yours was not mortgage, opportunity brokers, which I just was like, I love this. Yeah. So, mate, just talk us through first early on, obviously upbringing, everything that has to do so far with not so far, but those early stages of life.
Yeah, thanks, Demi. So originally from India, born and brought up in India, oldest in the family. So me and my younger brother. So I've got a younger brother. He's 7 years younger. So the first part of, went to school in India. For the first 20 years of my life, I was in India with my parents and, came from a very humble background. I always wanted to do something for myself. So in the search for that, doing something better for yourself, I scored a job in Dubai. This is going back 2004.
Wow.
So we've almost come 20 years now.
So 2004, so you leave India at age what, 20?
21.
21, okay. And where are you growing up in India?
So grew up in Pune, so very close to Mumbai.
Okay.
Just went up to my parents and said, look, I've secured a role in Dubai and I would like to pursue this. And they were quite supportive of it. Without knowing, when you're born and brought up in India, living at home with parents, everything is done for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about food, shelter, money. Parents are looking after you.
Where the Indians and the Greeks are so similar.
That's it. So I thought, the world outside living on your own is going to be better. But I was pleasantly surprised when I landed in Dubai that it was nothing but different to what my time in India was. So 2004, I went to Dubai in search of my first role. I was working in logistics and worked in a warehouse, pretty much had nothing to my name. It was just me with a lot of hopes and dreams and aspirations to do something of myself. And it was probably the best thing that I did for myself, stepping out of the comfort zone of my parents' shadow.
And Dubai wasn't obviously what it is today, I imagine, back then in 2004.
No. So Dubai, the whole real estate market in Dubai was just new. The tallest tower in the world did not exist. The marina did not exist. So I literally saw all of that take place in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
So it was just, me in Dubai, working in logistics. So you need to picturize this. I've got nothing to my name. I'm living in sharing accommodation, living hand to mouth, And the first 3 years were a grind. Like, in the first 1 year, I just wanted to leave everything and come back to home because it was too hard. And I realized that this is just too hard. But then, I wanted to prove to myself that I can do this. And I just continued with it. And I think the defining moment in my life happened in 2007 when my father passed away all of a sudden.
So, how old was he?
51.
Wow.
So you suddenly go from being a boy to suddenly becoming the head of the house, and you don't have a plan. You can't fail. You've got a mom to look after who's never worked in her life. You've got my brother's 7 years younger to me, so he was still in college. And here my life just overturned in 2007, where I spoke to my dad the night before, and the next day he was not there.
Wow.
And, that just was the defining moment where till then I was quite carefree. Like I did not have the responsibilities and about home or looking after dependents. I just had to look after myself. So I was quite larry about it. I was just going about my life. But in 2007, when that happened, I needed to take action and, came back home, completed all the formalities with my dad's burial and all of that, went back to Dubai. And that's when I stepped out of my comfort zone. I used to share accommodation with a couple of mates, and one of them worked in banking and happened to work in mortgages.
Right.
So I always saw and heard him do his thing. And, so I asked him, hey, is there an opportunity for me to come out of logistics? Because I knew I had to change something to support my family. I mean, doing what I was doing in logistics would not provide the lifestyle or the stability or the financial backing to provide for my family. So I had to go out from a operational role that I was in into a more sales role where sky's the limit, really. And that's when I decided to, speak to my roommate. He basically told me, like, this is just, we're lying down in bed, talking to each other. And he's like, yeah, okay, I think you can do this, and then he put in a word for me to his employer. One thing led to the other. And there I had my first break in banking.
Wow.
Didn't start in sales. So no one gave me a job in sales because I'd never done sales in my life. So started in an operational role in mortgages, working for the head of the sales team as their admin person. So just doing a lot of, reporting and MIS and all of that. And while I was doing that, I was, supporting all of these sales guys. So I quite liked their lifestyle. So sitting behind the desk and doing all the admin function, I saw, these guys come in early in the morning, have their morning huddles, and then they're off drinking coffees and having lunches. And then they would come back during the end of the day and say, okay, I've done this sales, I've closed this much. And at the end of the day, as an admin person, I'm processing their commissions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how do I change this narrative and go on the other side? So
you literally started from the ground up in the Dubai operation.
Yeah.
And learnt, I guess, the role by role, which you had never done a university background or anything like that?
No. So I'm a commerce graduate, so I completed my graduation and all of that.
Yeah.
But I've never worked in finance. I've never worked in lending, but I always had a passion for property. So passion for property and finance, and then landing a role in mortgages, that's what, got me going.
Amazing. And then how long did you, I guess, by this stage, I imagine you're then starting to cement yourself in Dubai and real estate and whatever else it might be. How long do you end up staying in Dubai?
I was a total 9 years in Dubai. So 2004 right up until 2012, I was in Dubai.
Wow.
2007 is when I actually took the step to change lines of work. So I went from logistics to banking.
Yeah.
And then from 2007 right until 2012, I worked my way up. So I started at the bottom of the barrel being an admin person and then became a sales advisor, mortgage advisor, BDM. My last role when I left Dubai was sales manager for Barclays UAE.
Wow.
So that happened over a period of 9 years. And that's where I actually learned the art of lending, learned about property, invested myself in property.
In Dubai?
In Dubai.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Bought property in Dubai, a couple of properties in Dubai. And I've always loved real estate.
Still got them?
Yeah.
Might need a place to go and stay, mate.
Yeah. So property has obviously allowed me, and obviously, working in finance, it's, given me access to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. And, my time in Dubai was the best. That 9 years, 2007, I moved into banking. 2008, I got married to my childhood. I've known my wife forever. We went to school together.
Wow.
So,
really?
Yeah. So we got married in India, 2009. Then she moved across, came and lived with us.
And she had never been to Dubai before?
Never before. Yeah. So, got married in India. She came and joined us in Dubai. My mom and my brother, I was able to relocate them because from 2007 to 2009, I worked it out. I really worked my ass off and got myself in a situation where I could provide for my family. So once my mom and my brother were in Dubai with me, my wife was there. And then, life was good.
It was a big break.
Yeah.
What made you leave Dubai in 2012?
I think the GFC, 2008-9, that global financial crisis, pretty much all the foreign banks in Dubai stopped lending. So someone like me who's a salesperson lending, doing mortgages, is suddenly out of, scope of work. So if the banks are not going to lend, we can't do anything. So the bank said, look, we're not lending anymore. Your job is we're going to just get rid of the entire sales force. We'll keep a couple of you guys. Your job is to keep close to the client and keep collecting now. On whatever you've lent.
Retaining.
Yeah, so retaining. So that period from 2009 to 2012 was a difficult one in Dubai, and we navigated that. And but my wife's family was here in Australia. So her parents were here. They moved here in 2004. They migrated here from India.
Okay.
So we always knew that we would move to Australia at some point. And I think I had come to Australia a few times and seen the opportunities over here. And 2012 is when we decided, okay, we'll do this in phases. So Lavinia left her role in Dubai. She moved here first. And I followed 6 months later in June 2012.
Wow. And your mum and brother?
They followed afterwards. So my mum, obviously as a migrant coming to Australia, it's very difficult. So, I had to go through the whole immigration process with my mum. She was separated from us for a couple of years, but now she's in Australia with us. She's been with us for the last 10 years. My brother, I still couldn't get him because the immigration rules are so difficult. And so he's in New Zealand right now. He went there to study. He's obviously settled in New Zealand. He's been there for 9 years now. So eventually he'll join us in Australia.
Wow. So he's currently, is this Dennis?
Yes.
Yes. So
yes.
Dennis is set up in New Zealand.
Correct. Yes.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So me and my family, my mum, my 2 kids, they're born here. We're in Melbourne. Dennis is in New Zealand.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. And obviously, there's a huge family aspect where I imagine Mum would probably be living with you guys. Or,
100%.
Yeah. Which I love that. I love that. I'm an old school guy.
Look, it's a cultural thing for us. When you're young, your parents look after you and they provide everything to you. So as they become old, it's your duty to look after them and provide for them. So, my mom's, it's a blessing that she lives with us and she actually looks after me still today.
I love it. It's no secret. I bought an investment. I bought a property. I moved into it. Wanted to do the whole big high life. I'm the first to admit it. Went and bought a property, moved out. After the first 3 months, I was so over it. I was like, no, this is not what I made out to be.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did my whole 12 months that I had to do for tax purposes, and moved out. And then after 12 months, I was like, I don't think I enjoy this. And look, I was living by myself at the stage, so I didn't. It was also during COVID. I just did not enjoy
this is in Melbourne?
Yeah, I did not enjoy it one bit. I just thought, different moving out with a partner, but moving out by myself and someone that obviously as well from time to time has battled their own anxieties as well. It wasn't a great thing for me. I loved going back home, and still now, like I've got a partner. She's well aware as to it. Obviously now it'd be different if we move out because moving out with a partner, but it wasn't for me what it was. And going back home, it wasn't even about the cooking and the cleaning. Like Mum's response to me was, "Oh, you coming back?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's the best thing I've ever done." You can't beat going home to a beautiful environment.
No.
I don't think it's something people don't understand. And we've always been told, don't go and rent. Rent money is dead money.
Yes.
So, but it obviously, there's always situations. You move back to Melbourne. Where do you set yourselves back? Well, you move to Melbourne. Where do you set yourselves up at?
So when I came to Melbourne first, 2012, I had to go through the same process what I went through in Dubai.
Right.
So everything that I achieved and did in Dubai was redundant. No one would take that on board. So, because obviously I've never lived in Melbourne first. So, wherever I applied for a role, like a mobile lending role or a mortgage broker role, the first question you would get asked is, do you have local connections? How are you going to go about your sales? I said, well, I need the opportunity first for me to start, I wasn't born in Dubai. I did that in Dubai over a period of time that I was there. And I'm willing to do that again over here. I don't have any dependent kids. I'm 30. So 2012, I was 30, and I had to do it all over again. So my first job again, Dimi, was a lot of rejections. So wouldn't even get an interview. Yeah. And then finally I got a role at Westpac Elstonwick. And I was living with my in-laws in Cranbourne. So I used to take the Cranbourne line, get down at South Yarra, take another line, Sandringham line, get down at Elstonwick, walk to 420 Glen Huntley Road, which is a good half a kilometer.
Wow.
And I hated it. I wanted to pack up and go back.
Yeah, of course.
And my wife was like, "Oh God, I please hope that he gets a job," because she didn't want to go back because her family was here.
Yeah.
And we just, again, just kept trying. I knew that I was made for bigger and better things. I believed in myself. And it was just a matter of getting the right opportunity. And the opportunities will come in the most unusual ways. And it again happened in Melbourne, 6 months into the role. I was at a Westpac induction. This is the most bizarre thing that's happened. Again, going through recruiters, applying through Seek Jobs, going online, just not getting through, because no one knows your story.
Yeah.
But I was at a Westpac induction 6 months into the role because the large banks, they do their inductions in batches. Wow. So they'll get people from across Australia together. And while I was at 360 Collins, the moderator who was sitting and conducting the induction said, "Okay, everyone go around the room and introduce yourself. So stand up and introduce 5 minutes about who you are, where you've come from, and what your role is over here at Westpac." So I'm standing there and introducing myself, and I finished my whole spiel, and it went around. The person sitting across from me was a girl, and she said, "I came from ME Bank. The banks decided to shut all their branches. They're focusing on mobile lending, so they're only hiring mobile lenders." It didn't fit with her lifestyle because she was married and kids, and she didn't want to do those after hours. I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh my God,
it's my lifestyle.
That's the role that I want." And I just went up to her in the break and I asked her who's hiring, and she gave me the person's name, and this is the person. I don't know him personally. He's come from CBA. His name is Mark Wilson. So I didn't know anything who this Mark Wilson is, where he's come from, what's his email address. So pretty much hustled and wrote an email, mark.wilson, wilson.mark, m.wilson, every single combination, and I sent it out with a long paragraph, not expecting anything in return, and it worked.
Wow. So out of how many would you reckon you sent?
I was doing that for 6 months.
Wow.
With every single opportunity that I was getting just to get in front of people. So, this gentleman, credit to him, he read my email and he called me pretty much after I sent that email, for example, today, and I got that call after three weeks. I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah, wow.
I'd forgotten, and I get this call saying, "Hey, this is Mark Wilson from ME Bank. You sent me this email," and I had forgotten. I didn't remember.
And the email got to him by you purely just guessing his email address.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that.
Just guessing his email address and him then picking up the phone, and when it's meant to happen, it will happen. So he saw something in that email, probably a lot of passion and, that I had poured in that email. And he called me, said, I don't have a role right now, but come and see me. I might have something in the new year,
Wow.
So this was happening 2012, October, November. So I was almost 6 months in with Westpac. And he said, I don't have a role right now, but I know someone's going to be retiring next year and we're looking at filling it in. So I said, okay. So I put my best foot forward, went and saw him, did all the things right, and just kept in contact with him. And, over a period of time, I think I was offered that role in March 2013. And then again, like that first role in Westpac, Elstonwick, where you're taking 2 trains to get to work, you're working 9 to 5, even you have to take a lunch break or go to toilet, you have to ask your manager. I hated it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it because I had to survive over here. And then, and that was, my salary at that point was 48,000 per annum.
Wow.
Before tax.
Is that a big difference between that and Dubai when you left Dubai?
100%. I had to take a big pay cut.
Yeah.
Because obviously coming from a no tax background and suddenly you're going through, you can imagine, if you're a head of sales for a certain big bank and then you're coming to Dubai, Australia, and then suddenly out of your, like you're just out of control. Like you can't relate to people. You've got nothing in common. You're a migrant. You've come from overseas. You're trying to blend in. I didn't even know a footy team, for example. So I asked my wife, hey,
who should we go for?
Who should we go for? She was quite a passionate Collingwood supporter.
Yeah.
She said, 2 things will happen. Go for this team. Either people will love you or they'll hate you.
Yeah.
And, I was just trying to blend in. I couldn't even, connect with people.
Which team did you land on?
Collingwood.
Oh, I'm not a fan, but I guess we've got plenty of friends that play for them, so it's a fair team. You would have been happy last year.
Yeah, so very happy.
Amazing. So then you get the big break, obviously, with ME Bank, and you get the opportunity in March 2013.
2013, yes.
And then how long does that role last?
4.5 years.
Yeah.
So very clear in my head from the beginning. So I never wanted to go from banker to banker. So I was clear that once I get the role that I want, I will stick and stay loyal to this organization till I'm ready to go from banker to broker.
Yeah. Okay.
So, ME Bank was the first bank that gave me the first opportunity, and I stuck with them for 4.5 years till I was ready to start my own business. So 2013, I started with ME Bank, with nothing to my name. Again, built a reputation within the bank, grew within the bank over the last 4.5 years. My son was born in 2014, daughter was born in 15. Wife was, on maternity leave, managing all those responsibilities. As you can imagine, my mom's still in India. I'm trying to figure out to get her over here. My brother's gone overseas to New Zealand to study because I couldn't support him over here. So finished all those commitments in 2017. And that's when I started Blank.
Wow. Hell of a story. And then obviously when you're ready to take that plunge, are you guys the whole time living where you're currently living or in that area, I should say, in the peninsula? Or
No. So we started living with my in-laws in Cranbourne. Then we moved to Sanctuary Lakes in Point Cook.
Yeah.
And I quickly realized that that's not where I wanted to be because I needed to be closer to my in-laws when my son was born and we needed support. And so we moved back. We bought a property in Berwick and we stayed in Berwick for almost 8 years. Wow. Mornington happened just before COVID.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just before COVID, we bought the block in Mornington and we built the Our Forever home.
Wow. Yeah. It looks like an amazing home from what I've seen on the Instagram. So I'm actually going to be hitting you up to come around and have a hit of tennis or something. That will be happening. I'm interested to know about, obviously you took the big leap and started Blank, but I'm interested to know about some of your I guess, outlooks on business. Because I know how successful Blank is. And again, I'm probably a bit biased only because I work in the real estate industry. I know you're aligned with obviously people like our real estate hero, we should probably say, being Tom Panos.
Yes.
And we've seen plenty of videos of the two of you together. So obviously when someone of that caliber is endorsing you, I think everybody is going to be looking, and success leaves clues. I guess for you, what's been that one thing that set you apart? Only the reason I say it is, I've got plenty of friends that are mortgage brokers. We all know plenty of mortgage brokers. like real estate agents.
Yes.
But what's been that one thing for you that you have found has set you apart?
I think just doing the right thing by people and building long-term relationships I think let's just talk with real estate. Like in every transaction, as a mortgage broker that I do, there's a buyer, there's a seller, there's an agent, there's a conveyancer. There's so many stakeholders. So it's just building relationships with each and every individual and just doing the right thing by them. Coming back to real estate agents, I did not know any real estate agents because I only came to Australia in 2012.
Yeah.
So I've only been here this is my 12th year. But I was quite strategic about, okay, who do I want to work with? Who is my ideal client? Who's my ideal referrer? So I could relate with real estate agents quite well. And then I went about, learning about their craft. So what's a pain point that keeps a real estate agent up? How can I try and solve that, So, and that's what I did with, by joining. And how do I learn about real estate is, I joined Real Estate Gym. I'm not even an agent, but I joined Real Estate Gym to learn about agents and contribute in that community. And that's how I learned about, what does an agent do? How do they go about prospecting? How do they go about listing? What does their business model look like, and then you can relate to people and a lot of people will, give you an opportunity. They'll see the hunger, the passion, that you're going over and above your call of duty. So people will give you a go. Australia is a very fair country, and for someone like me coming with nothing and building this over here, it's a land of opportunities.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I think what you've done in your short period of time, and it probably resonates with me, is what my grandparents, I guess, tried to do for us when they came back over in the 50s and 60s. But you've done it in a short period of time, and also you've done it in a dynamic where obviously the world's a lot more expensive than what it was in the 50s and 60s.
Yep.
So I just find it alarming. What's probably, and it's probably maybe a silly question, but what's probably the biggest issue in your industry? Because I know that our industry's got issues, and there's always going to be those different agents that, in particular, I would say make the industry look worse than what it is.
Yeah.
What would be the biggest issue in your industry, do you think?
I think I don't see any issues as such, but like we are quite heavily regulated because you're working in financial services.
Yeah.
And I think just working with the banks, working with paperwork and working with systems and processes. I think there's not issues as such, but you just there are things that are within your control, and then there are things out of your control, like such as I can't control what rules and regulations some banks are going to make or the regulator's going to make. I can only control what I can do, which is meet more people, talk to more people, be of service to more people.
So what's and this is probably sums you up as a person and you're the type of business person that you are. We had met once, and obviously I was due for new sponsors on the podcast, and I had simply put out a post saying, any new sponsors want to jump on board, let us know.
Yeah.
Simply. You and I had met once, and you jump at that opportunity. There's a lot of people that I would say 9 times out of 10, most people don't jump at that opportunity, but you're that 1 out of 10. I love it because I'm so similar to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I'll probably, and I think maybe you're the same, I probably overcommit because I want to than thinking it through.
Yes.
What makes you do those types of things? And I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying why did you sponsor the podcast.
I think I resonated because obviously we've known each other for a while.
Yeah.
We've seen each other on socials without actually, sitting across the table and getting to know each other personally. But in that one interaction, I was able to connect with you. And I thought, this is a guy that I would like to, get to know better.
Yeah.
And your podcast resonated with me. I think I listened to your podcast, and even the name, The Humble Climb, I could relate my own story to it. Wow. So, if you spot an opportunity, I just jump on it. And, what's the worst that will happen?
Yeah. I take a lot of things, and I've always taken a lot of things from business people. And one thing that I've said, very openly is that's probably where I'm trying to take the podcast to a degree and talking exactly about stories from grit to where people are today, but obviously remaining that humble throughout it. You've got an incredible marketing, branding background. I mean, even today when you walked up, you gave me 2 beanies, one for me and one for my partner, Sophia, with B on there for your logo being blank. Again, I was just like, well, again, and not just because you're here, but I was like, this guy's just awesome. Where does the marketing side come from you? Is that a you thing? Is that a Lavinia thing?
No, I think it's this goes back to my childhood. So I think my dad was an incredible marketer.
Yeah.
And he was a business person and businessman in his own right, and he was quite successful. So as a young kid, I looked up to him a lot, and I saw how he operated, the way he dressed, the way he showed up, always on time, always courteous, always, going above and beyond in every interaction, no matter what work he's doing, always presenting very well, whether it's a marketing collateral or a brochure or whatever you do, So I think, and even the way we live, like, cleanliness, I'm very particular about, how my workspace is, how my home is, So it goes back to my upbringing, and I think I picked all those traits from my father.
Yeah, no, the marketing isn't, and look, I probably market it, I love marketing and probably as much as what you do, in both senses of the word, in both industries, but I think there's so much opportunities for people in general. So I've always wanted to ask you about that because your branding's fantastic. I've seen the billboards. I've seen the tennis tournament that you've done. I love it. Honestly, I really, really, really do love it. I just think it's phenomenal in the way that you bring your community involved as well. But obviously as well, is one of the big things that you do is it one of those things where you want to satisfy all your, I guess, clients?
We want to give an experience to everyone that we come in contact with.
Yeah.
Whether that's my clients or whether that's my referral partners. And a lot of our business is inbound business. So I'm not going out prospecting. Someone like yourself is talking about my services to somebody else who needs my service. So it's about bringing people in to our ecosystem, giving them an experience or affording them with opportunities which they otherwise wouldn't have access to. So just bringing people together, celebrating our wins with them, and just having a good time.
Where do you see the future of Blank Financial going?
Yeah, we're quite ambitious about where Blank is going in the next decade. So I think, if anything, we're just getting started right now.
That's how it feels as well on the outset.
Yeah. So, but we've been working and building a lot of strong building blocks so that we can go to the next stage. So I think Blank, obviously over the next 10 years, I would love to build a legacy which is incredibly that I'm proud of, which will be beyond me. So it won't just be, Bernard, but, we would love, I've learned so much through this process, and now it's about, giving other people those same opportunities that they could benefit from. So they don't have to go and make those mistakes and learn it the hard way. We can just share and all benefit from it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And obviously, you've always got something on the go, whether it be meeting with clients or attending a dinner, or I think from one thing that I've gathered from you today in particular, is probably your sense of networking is huge as to somewhat of your success today.
Yep.
Has been never turning down that coffee or actually chasing that relationship.
Yeah, you can't you have to do the old stuff. You still, socials is good, but nothing beats a face-to-face conversation.
Definitely.
Nothing beats, going and meeting someone, sitting across the table, feeling them, and just having a good time.
I love that. One thing that we always like to finish on as such is the humble 3, which is the 3 questions that we changed up the questions from last year. So I'll have to get them back up, but always finishing off with certain things. So who would you if you could have dinner with 3 particular people in the world that have existed or existing or whatever it might be, who would they be and why?
If I had my time all over again, I would probably like to have dinner with my dad now to just reflect back on what I've been able to do and say and celebrate it with him. Second, I think people that I look up to, like my mom, I look up to her, and it's always celebrating with her, and I'm a family person, so I keep it tight knit.
I love that. It's probably the wrong answer. I'd probably be, unlike me, I think I answered it saying that I'd go with The Rock. So goes to show the differences, but it's incredible how humble you are. Your second question, your proudest moment.
Proudest moment, work-wise, would be potentially 2018 winning Australian Broker of the Year. Was unexpected. I did not expect it, and Tom Panos was with me in the room when that happened.
On your table?
He was with me on my table, and we went together, and we weren't winning anything. And I still remember, I said, Tom, I'm so sorry, I have not won anything. And then a couple of minutes, it just all changed.
That's incredible.
And personally, I think providing, the home, I think, is the most, seeing my kids enjoy the home, seeing my mom enjoy it, my wife enjoy it, and us hosting, friends and families over. I think that's probably the next best.
Is your mum just interesting? I know my mum in particular. She's always been like, honey, I know you're excited and wanting to do a lot and take on the world, but step at a time. Is your mum one of those mums that's always giving the positive 2 cents and, just be careful. Don't run before you can walk?
So mum being mum, like most mums, very, she obviously has a good sense of, what, I don't have to say anything and she'll know what's happening. Yeah. But she's always there supporting me, my biggest cheerleader, and telling me that, nothing is impossible. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Yeah. And she's told me that throughout the life, and so that belief has actually helped me in everything that I've done. So nothing's impossible.
I thought maybe I might put it in one of your, maybe I'll answer as well and add to your answer of your proudest moment with number 3. Would it, any potential of the Ferrari being one of the proudest moments?
The Ferrari is it's a childhood dream. So I think it brings a big smile to my face when I still can't believe I've got it.
It's a well-deserved dream.
But I think I worked hard, and no one knows this, but I've shared this with you on this podcast. I started my journey in 2004. It's taken me 20 years to get here, and in that 20 years, every day I've worked towards this.
That's right. Right. And again, I think I'm always big on reward yourself.
Yeah, I have always been big on that. So you set a goal, you visualize your goal, and you live it. So when you do certain things, you then go and reward yourself. Absolutely. And then I think from the time I bought the Ferrari, I'm probably working twice as harder to just justify myself that I deserve it.
I don't think you need to justify anything, mate. I think you've been doing an incredible job. So there's a reason why you should be rewarding ourselves, which is funny because I've always had this conversation with people about little things like whether it be that or someone buying something for themselves. There's always the 2 opinions. There's the opinions of the people that are, I can't believe they're showing it off, which I hate those opinions.
Yeah.
And it's the other side, which good on them, they deserve it. And you don't get as many of that. That's what I've always found. And I
think that will happen everywhere. If you're successful, absolutely, you're always going to have people that will, say, feel good and be kind and, be happy for you. And at the same time, you're going to have people that's, going to say, I have a different...
Look, for me, I find it incredibly inspirational. That's how I look at it. And that's not you. I'm saying people in general with similar stories like that. I'm like, absolutely good on them. I found it incredibly inspirational. People that would fly their business, that fly their family's business class. So I was like, they've worked hard for it. They deserve to. So again, everyone's going to have their opinion, but kudos on that, mate. Congratulations. You deserve it. Last one, ideal retirement destination.
Melbourne.
Yeah. Nice.
I love Melbourne. I think I'm already, some of my friends tell me I'm already living the retired life in Mornington.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where life will take us in a couple of years when we are actually retiring. But I would love to be close to my kids and, still enjoy complete family time with them.
No Dubai for retirement?
Nah.
No. Just for a holiday?
I think I've been there, done that. So, yeah, I think Melbourne's more home.
And just last one on real estate, because I know it's something that we've spoken about many times before. There's always the people look for the quick buck, whether it be a Bitcoin or whatever it might be, or the longevity of real estate property. If you were a buying person, what would you be doing?
I've personally done real estate. I've not done anything else but real estate.
Yeah.
Coming from an Indian background, your parents teach you from a young age. The minute you can afford, just buy.
Yeah.
So I think it's worked well for me, and it's worked well for a lot of customers that I've served. So real estate is number one. Just buy whatever you can afford, and that might be something small today, but in a couple of years, it's probably going to be better than what you bought it at.
Amazing. I'll be putting Bernard's details on the bottom of the links and everything, so that for people that need to get in contact about maybe having a free health check on their interest rates or loans, or having any confidential discussions as well, I think it's really, really important, and I can't stress it enough that I've seen this guy firsthand at the way that he handles clients, and it's genuinely A-class. So I'll be definitely putting out your details, whatever we can do, whether it be the one referral or the two, but whoever is interested in having a chat with Bernard, please reach out. So Bernard, I want to say a massive, massive thank you for coming on. I know you've come down from Mount Eliza, Mornington, to come and do this today.
It's a good drive.
By far have been and this is the first time I've ever said this, actually, the best dressed guest by far across the podcast episode. So by far, I've got a similar suit, and the plan was for both of us to wear them, but I thought, you know what, mine's actually still at the dry cleaners. So that's the honest truth. But mate, you're an incredible human. You've got an incredible story. I can't thank you enough for coming on and just being so open and raw, and also providing a sense of hope and inspiration for so many, because that's the way I look at it.
Thanks, Timmy. Appreciate you having me over here. I think, on closing, sky's the limit. If I can do it, coming from nothing over here, everyone's got the same opportunities. Just go hard or go home.
Mate, you're a gentleman. For everyone, continue to like, rate, subscribe. Thank you, as always, to our incredible sponsors, Gigi Herring Kids, EcoWave Australia. We've also obviously got Wallace Advocates, and how can we forget Blank Financial. So please get in touch with them. We'll be putting all their links everywhere. So continue to get in touch with the guys for any questions you may have. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Braden and the team. And thank you to our amazing guests that continue to make this show what it is. Continue to like, subscribe, and we'll see you at the next episode. Thank you.